right, one more time, round of applause. Sons of Appalachia, let these questions fly, people. Where's the beautiful mic, ladies?
So with this Cherokee devil and whatever else is in these woods, this thing on? The hill there. Sometimes when you're on high.
Wild and free, with Ryan, I'll venture brave and bold into the heart of stories yet untold. Through winding roads and forests deep, secrets the hills and hollers keep, with cameras ready.
We're not looking for, we're looking for the public library. Now still take left. Spring Alley. I just need you to look at all these buildings. Okay, that's where it's telling you to turn. Inward. Okay, that must be the library. Alright, well, we're early.
It says right here.
Yeah, we're going to get out and walk, see if we can go find it instead of waiting the last minute, not know sure where we're going. Okay, that's not the... Was that it right there? I'm not sure I can park in here. Let's go over and park, because these is all saying something. Well, there ain't nothing telling me I can't park there. Handicap. Sure don't want to come out here and this motherfucker's towed off. I'll be pissed. Let's go over and park. I don't know.
What's it saying?
I don't know why I can't park here. It doesn't say I can't. But then it says... See, it's saying it'd be towed. I don't think we're supposed to park in here. I don't know what that means. Free parking. State Street lots. Reserve. You gotta fucking be joking me. I'm parking right there. Free parking between these signs. Okay. Yeah, people, I really don't know where I'm going. Nope, up on the curb run.
What's this? That's the main.
Yeah, I think it's right up there. Damn, I gotta pee.
Remember, big blues like you. These are
can't walk very fast for a few minutes. You know where the library's at? They're having a thing for that mountain launch from in, something about the public libraries, I'll say. Is that way? Thank you.
That's cool.
Oh, I guess this is it. Take a picture.
Yeah, you might, there's a line. I just wanted you to not close it on the
Your bracelet. Good morning. To the left. And take it straight ahead. And take it straight ahead. To the left. I can get you over here. We'll hold to the left.
Hey, hi, how are you?
And I'll leave one of these. So, and did you have a second?
Yes, it's on there. So then he can go back and look at that stuff.
Yep.
Here's the bathroom.
The bathrooms
Okay,
are.
I got it. I got it. Men's room.
But thank you all so very much. We have an incredible, of course, master of ceremonies here today, RPG. Give it up for RPG.
I love you all. I love you all. Good to see some familiar faces and new ones.
For those of you who have followed Expedition Bigfoot, you know that he is the OG on EB, right? He was my first teammate out in the field. But the great thing is that while he was not able to continue with us, we've continued, and we've done a lot of amazing stuff together in the last few years, and this is just the beginning.
Yes, it is. I love you so much. Thanks for letting me tag along.
No way. With that said, this is just the beginning, so I'm going to step off here and sit with Russ, who I'm pretty sure I told him to wait here. Where did he go? Russell Acorn. And I'm going to leave you with RPG. Thanks so much, everybody.
All right, so I've got about 5 minutes, which is a very little amount of time for someone like me that likes to yap. But before I introduce these two lovely people, my friends, at one point, my partners in crime on TV, let's take you into the darkness for a second. On the darkest night of my life in the woods, where the clouds had dropped from the sky and had hit the earth, where you're in a pine forest, where all those branches like witches' fingers, I just want to jab you in the eye and make you blind so you never find Bigfoot. We're out there looking for Bigfoot. This is on Finding Bigfoot. I believe it was season 9, episode 2, Turner, Maine. Anyone remember? Young man took a video of a Bigfoot, and it brought up this interesting discussion about, 1, could Bigfoot be neurodivergent, and 2, do they mourn? Do they get sad? Because this thing was walking around in the middle of the day and moaning in the woods. Well, he played the video just like we would show people that we care about. And what did they do? They shamed him so bad they had to take him out of school. So what did we do? We showed up to stand in solidarity with him. And we went out in the woods and we filmed. That night we had tree knocks, we had vocalizations, we had all sorts of action. Now, at that point, I was helping run the show. So when the team came back, you know, in the witching hour of the night, I went into the woods. And now I'm a Bigfoot. I'm getting paid to be out in the world. I'm brave. This is what I do. Well, here's the amazing thing. In that moment, where you have a genuine experience, you're going to learn something about you. And I wish it for all of you, because we're all a little more afraid than we know. And I think just beyond that fear is the true experience. Because if I knew you wanted to communicate with me, but you were scared to death, I wouldn't approach you out of what? Respect. So I get down on my hands and knees, I take 2 apples, I throw them, it lands in the water about where the end of the theater is, and remember, it's so dark, I can't see to here. It hits the water down there, and I literally go, and then I'm like, oh man, I'm scared, right? So I'm like, okay, come on, no man, you got this, dude, you're cool, you're the RPG, man, you're a Bigfooter. So nobody knows how to accurately communicate with them, right? So I just keep a wide open mind to all possibilities, and so with some great apes, they do this gesture when they've gotten in trouble. And I spent a lot of time in the principal's office, so I did a lot of this. And, you know, I think sometimes the best of us do. And I get down, and I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, you know, part of your thoughts are, this is foolish, why am I doing this? I know, but then you're like, you know what, nobody knows, and I'm a scientist. Like, you're all scientists in here. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Gather data, create a theory, and go fight for it. And as I get down, no lie, on the darkest, scariest time I've ever been in the woods, something walks out at the end of this theater, kaploosh, kaploosh, picks up the apple, yeah, I'll do that again, kaploosh, 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 and walks out of the woods. And once again, big, brave Bigfooter getting paid to do it, I start shaking. And I'm like, oh my God. And all I can tell you is it's a combination of fear, because you know, I don't care how big, strong, fast, I don't care how many guns you have on you. When you get near this, primal fear ripples through your body because you instantly understand that you're just a little small animal in that woods. And after I got that under control and I dialed it in, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. This is the greatest job of my life. And I stand up, but then what do you do next, right? So I had what do you do? So I get up and I'm like, I look for little rocks and I start throwing little rocks. And no lie, I'm throwing, and then all of a sudden I realized just as mine would hit, one would land near me. And then, once again, I must have just read like the worst poker face ever. And then I did one more, it happened one more time, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm communicating with Bigfoot. Through the next one, nothing. Anyway, with that said, looking for Bigfoot, what is it really about? It's about getting back into nature and finding your excuse, your reason to be there. And I wish for all of you to stand before that wall of darkness, face your own fears, and step into a new version of you, which is the real version of you, the powerful, amazing version of you. So, speaking of powerful, amazing people, I would like to introduce two friends of mine who have had the wonderful life to be traveling and doing what I just, looking for Bigfoot and getting paid and getting to be in nature is the greatest thing that can ever happen to you. So, two really good people, two great researchers, two hardworking, passionate individuals who also are great friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Expedition Bigfoot's Dr. Mariah Mayer, aka the Angel, and Mr. Russell Accord.
Hey, Mariah, who's that guy on stage? He looks familiar. RPG, I've never heard of it. Thank you, RPG.
Hello, everybody.
Hello!
Hello! All right, can we switch over to my computer now?
Wait.
There we go. Okay, there we go. Is that better? Yeah? Okay, I'll go back. All right, so, we were asked to do a joint presentation here, and as always, I was left doing all the work, so I have some surprises. Some surprises for Russ in this presentation, because if you get to do all the work, you get to decide what's in it. Don't you all agree? All right, Russ, I need you to stand over here, because I don't want you to see what's like coming up in the next little bit. Okay, perfect. So, how many of you watch Expedition Bigfoot? Be honest, it's okay. Oh, like, yay, awesome, all right, great. How many of you don't? How many of you have never seen an episode of Expedition Bigfoot? Don't be shy.
Raise your hand if you have. Hey, you, with the hand up, leave. You're out.
No, you stay. But I'm gonna show a quick clip just so that everyone is on the same page and sees what the show's about and what we do out there, or at least a little bit. Here's a little clip.
We have come back to our old target zone in Northern California. It's the epicenter of Bigfoot activity.
Just keep your head up, swallow out here.
I believe these creatures are raising their young right here.
It would be the right time of year for a creature to migrate.
Food resources here are plentiful, next to running water.
If I was avoiding humans,
that's where I'd go.
Bryce?
What is that?
We believe they're marking a territory.
I looked up and I seen this big arm reaching in the window.
It's blood, one drop at a time.
It scared me so bad, I couldn't scream.
It could be that we're looking at an alpha male. I'm getting a heat signature. In a position to protect a female and their young.
Look at this.
It's moving right now.
Right there, look at this. You see that? We're getting close. The hunt is on. This is by far the most powerful tech that we've ever deployed.
The hyperspectral camera is picking up mammal DNA traces for the first time.
Yeah, that's a hair.
We're seeing details. Oh my God. Shh, listen.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes. We're gonna find this thing. Wow. There's something coming up on Russ. Holy crap. That's big. Let's move out of here. Let's go.
No way. You are not going to believe what I just found.
We are right at Bigfoot's front step.
Oh, look at that, look at that.
Oh!
Walk away.
What?
Because when you see Bigfoot, it's the scariest thing in the world.
I think I see it.
Because he sees you too.
I think I see it.
Go. That was awesome.
What do you guys think? All right.
Yes,
So we thought we would start by telling us a little bit about our backgrounds, a little bit about ourselves, stuff that you wouldn't see on the show. Going way back to when I was like 5 years old.
6 years ago.
That was my pet chicken Margarita, Maggie for short. I grew up in a big city in Miami, Florida, actually a little place within Miami called Little Havana. The reason for that, of course, is that my parents are Cuban immigrants, right? So Little Havana is where we landed. You guys can go ahead and laugh at my mom's hair. I feel it.
Hey, is Gunner in here? Is Gunner? Gunner, where's Gunner? Gunner. Gunner's a beekeeper?
Uh-huh,
So
yeah.
you recognize a beehive, right? All right.
I said they could make fun of my mom, not you. But I grew up, if you know anything about Cuban mothers, like they are incredibly overprotective. And in fact, when I asked her if I could join the Girl Scouts, she said, absolutely not, it is far too dangerous. So I was not allowed to go camping and everything else. Oh, and hey guys, just real quick, phones down, there's no recording, and you can take pictures and all of that, but please don't record any of this, because
level, skeptically to say, well, this is clearly some sort of mythological creature that's being described and not something in reality. For that reason, a lot of people tend to focus on the fact that there are mystical interpretations out there, that people have supernatural or metaphysical interpretations of the Sasquatch, or that if they do hold some belief that it exists corporeally as a physical flesh and blood animal, it at least has mystical attributes. It's very often described in these belief systems as something that exists at the very top. You know, so the previous quote, the Lord of the forest, you know, the king of the wild world. It's very often described as a mediator between realms, whether that's like a spiritual realm and a physical realm, or the realm of the underworld and the realm of the earthly, etc. As mentioned, very often people attribute it to it the ability to disappear. Very often they're described as having the ability to know a person's thoughts. Sometimes they're given these other mystical attributes that they can like possess people's minds or paralyze them, freeze them with fear, confuse them. And to the previous quote about a person being free from sin, they're often seen as some sort of like moral judge. That, you know, you'll be safe in their territory so long as you're a good person, right? And so, some other quotes, a couple of quotes here related to this. One would be, quote, everywhere it roams, the Sasquatch is credited with powers beyond those expected of any worldly animal. The Sasquatch is bound by neither day nor night, land nor water. Some say they are creatures of neither heaven or earth. These are all things maybe you've heard before that people espouse when talking about the subject. Now, how do those claims fare amongst today's researchers, investigators, people like myself, my colleagues that you've seen on Finding Bigfoot, or the colleagues that you've seen here from Expedition Bigfoot? Well, there's a lot of different interpretations, but even if we dismiss some of the mystical elements, there are still these other confounding elements that you'll hear people describe. So a few quotes would be, quote, Sasquatches do not forgive disturbances to their natural order. If something doesn't look, smell, or feel right, a Sasquatch will either find and destroy the cause or vacate the premises so thoroughly that any hope of future sightings is lost. Sasquatches avoid contact with humans at all costs and live secretive lives in vast mountain ranges. Chancing upon one is like finding a needle in a haystack. The luckiest researchers get to see them once or twice in their entire careers. They can tell human hunters apart from non-hunters and seem to recognize that men are more dangerous than women. Does any of that sound familiar to people who've been researching the subject? You've heard things along these lines being attributed to the Sasquatch. As far as their traces go, a handful of quotes here. Sasquatches leave traces of their activities that teach us a great deal about them. Unless you're very lucky, the Sasquatch always senses your presence and leaves before you catch up with it. Instead of chasing after it, you must wait for it to come to you. I know that one has to sound familiar, right? How many times have you heard people say, you don't find them, they find you, right? One researcher described that, quote, Sasquatches found well-hidden cameras and avoided or destroyed them. The acts of destruction were never caught because all of the cameras were attacked from behind. The culprit was identified by its tracks, and the sounds were only caught on tape. Sasquatches are conscientious creatures. They are constantly on the move, traveling over ridges and around rivers. They meticulously keep track of everything that goes on in their territories, and they note changes since their last visit. The indigenous refer to this behavior as reigning over the forest. They make the best use of their energy by spending it all at once in a burst of speed when hunting other animals. This strategy includes furtive stalking, hiding, and using power to bring down a deer or a boar. To do this, a Sasquatch must get as close as possible to prey without being seen. This large, pungent, extraordinarily charismatic animal must achieve a state of non-existence while operating inside the sphere of its prey's highly attuned senses. Witnesses agree that there's something almost metaphysical about the Sasquatch's ability to will itself into non-being, to cloak itself. Now, these are the kind of things that you hear very often people describe. And I think it's claims like this that either newcomers or skeptics or cynics really struggle with. To them, they think that, well, this all sounds very impossible, right? I mean, an animal that's seen so differently by so many different peoples representing different cultures, and yet time and time again is represented as having that ability to be almost non-existent. That, you know, they're just out of our reach all the time. And so people struggle with that. I mean, I'm sure everyone here has been asked the question, if you've ever brought up the Sasquatch at a holiday family dinner, you know, where's the bodies, where are the bones, why are there not better photographs, etc. And so people tend to think it is impossible. And so a couple of final quotes here to that point from two different researchers. People who live in Sasquatch habitat understand the Sasquatch in a context vastly different from that of the scientist. In the land where the Sasquatch roams, he is not a mere animal, but a symbol of the powerful, the majestic, the magical, the unknown. Those who live near him seldom see him, but his presence and power are constantly felt. Their portrait of the Sasquatch is not a scientist's line drawing, but a pointillist painting. Each encounter a dot of glowing, vivid color. Many researchers who know animals well would say that the Sasquatch is not real. Western science says that such beings cannot exist. They are impossible. So does any of that sound familiar to you? You've heard those sorts of arguments. Is there anyone here who's skeptical, who thinks that the things that I just described are true? Is there anyone who thinks it is probably impossible? Are there any brave souls, or do we have a room full of those free from the sin of cynicism? Well, a lot of people, and I wouldn't blame them for being cynical or skeptical for thinking that such an animal was impossible. That it does sound just like a bunch of nonsense or superstition. And I want to share with you where I got these quotes from, in case you do think it's impossible. These are the sources from which I pulled each one of those quotes, but all I did was substitute the word Sasquatch for the word tiger. These are three excellent books that I would recommend that anybody who's interested in wildlife, nature writing, and especially those of you who are interested in the Sasquatch and how it lives, to read these books. The first one being The Great Soul of Siberia, which is written by a fantastic researcher who is essentially a citizen scientist who pursued the wild tiger in Siberia. To make a long story short, I think he was a literature major, so he didn't even have a science or a wildlife-oriented background. And when he became obsessed with Siberian tigers, there was collectively about an hour of footage of Siberian tigers in the wild. And this gentleman, over a several-year period, got over 1,000 hours of footage of Siberian tigers in their natural habitats. The Tiger, A True Story of Vengeance and Survival, is one of the most terrifying true stories you will ever read. And so if you like to have good nightmares and learn about scary animals, I would highly recommend it. It'll make you very grateful for the glaciers that kept tigers out of North America at key points in time. And then The Spell of the Tiger is about a place in India that's the sort of the tiger death capital of India, where more people are killed and eaten by tigers per capita than anywhere else in the world on a yearly basis. But that's where each one of those quotes came from. And so for those of you to whom that sounded very familiar, you would think, well, that is wow, because that is very, very much like the way that people describe Sasquatches, from indigenous descriptions, from the descriptions of modern researchers, and from the point of view of people who think that such animals are impossible, that they can't exist. I'm really struck by those similarities. And so you think, well, what is it that those things might have in common? You know, if we assume that the Sasquatch phenomenon has at its root a real living species of animal, we're certainly not talking about something like a big cat. You know, I mean, they're both mammals, but that's about all they share in common. You know, the eyewitness testimonies paint the picture of something that's much more like an ape, whether or not it's something more closely related to us than the other living apes, something that would be within our genus Homo, or whether it's something more akin to the Asian ape line that produced lineages like the Indopithecines and the Gigantopithecines, etc. Well, both of these animals are very large, you know, significantly larger than a human in both cases. And they're both very rare in that animals that exist sort of at the top of the trophic pyramid, you know, that have no natural predators above them, tend to live in very small numbers. They tend to require very large home ranges, and they're very mobile within those home ranges. So not only do they cover a big area, but they're always on the move. That makes them very unpredictable, very difficult to pursue, etc. So beyond being very large, very rare, they're both very frightening, intimidating animals. And so in that way, you can imagine that from an experiential perspective, the experience of encountering these things would be similar in a lot of ways. That, you know, things that, especially in our prehistory, you know, very small groups of humans, you know, small social units, whether those are small tribes, clans, etc. Encounters might only occur once every generation, or once at least every few years. You could also imagine that, you know, people that had such encounters and came back to tell the rest of the group about it, if they said, "Come back with me, I'll take you to where this happened." Well, the animal's long gone by then. It's moved on, it's mobile in that home range. So it would seem like, from an experiential perspective, that you only find them when you're not looking for them, right? That's something you hear very often within Sasquatchery. And then that frightening element, you know, that deep fear and terror that, you know, RPG referred to as that primal fear, you know, that does have a sort of moral dimension to it. And so you can imagine that in these cases, the quotes that I pulled being truly about tigers, but you hear the same quotes being pulled about Sasquatches, that they won't hurt you if you're free from sin.
Change and move forward and get better. I have only recently had the honor of meeting these gentlemen, and I gotta tell you, Wild Bill's my new favorite of all these wild characters. I just want to do push-ups and go hunt and wrestle wild boar with him. But to these gentlemen, it is very rare in our profession that you get a second chance to come back again. So, yeah, this is what you are witnessing is something that is as rare and as elusive as Bigfoot themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get the men, the myth, the legends themselves up here, Mr. Huckleberry, Mr. Wild Bill, and Buck. And they are now known as the Sons of Appalachia. And we are excited to see where their new adventures are going to take them and how much mischief and mayhem they are going to create. That's it. We love big personalities, don't we? And there might not be any three bigger, except maybe James Bobo Fay, but he's kind of retired now. All right, one more time, round of applause. Sons of Appalachia, let these questions fly, people. Where's the beautiful mic ladies that do such a good job? Must be a potty break.
Are we having a good time? Yeah. Hello? I know you are. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. This thing on? Oh, it's on now. Breaker 19.
All right, guys. So, like RPG just said, we used to be mountain monsters. Now we're the Sons of Appalachia. Things have changed. You're still going to get a lot of the same crazy stuff, just on YouTube now. But give you an example, if you guys haven't seen, I think they've got a clip ready. And, they'll show it, and you guys can see, you know, what we're up to right now. Maybe.
back in North Carolina. I didn't think we'd be here. We've got a lot of unfinished business. That book led us here. We've got a lot of history with the Cherokee Devil right in these same woods. That's something we've got to keep an eye out for because you never know when he's lurking.
We're back here in North Carolina, in the home of the damn Cherokee Devil. I don't care much for this country down in here, but that book led us right down here. And right now, we're following it. So with this Cherokee Devil and whatever else is in these woods, we better stay on our toes.
We're back down here in North Carolina. That jerk led us down here. We got some unfinished business with Mr. Cherokee Devil. I've seen that thing. It messed with two of my brothers of mine. I mean, them had them all wazoo. This thing is no joke. It can be right around one of them trees. You come around, rip your head off. That thing will mess with your mind big time. He's no joke, folks.
Watch your step in here. Watch your back. Watch your hook.
Take your time. I got you.
Right there it is. What? Right there it is. Where? Right there on that big wood pile right there. You see that? Right there. Right there it stands.
Bill, I'm not seeing a thing.
What?
Bill, hey. Settle down.
There's some figure looking right at me right there on that wood pile.
Huh? You see anything?
I don't see a thing.
I just come around that corner. I saw that cloak and that black figure. I bet he'll eat tough. Where he's at now. I'll tell you what, we better watch what we're doing in here. That thing is no joke.
If it was there, it's not there now.
Well, it was right there. I was looking at it with my eyes.
Bill just said he seen a cloaked figure going up over the hill there. Sometimes when you're on high alert and you got your nerves stressed clear out, your eyes will play tricks on you in these woods. We better tighten up. I don't know if he's seen anything or not, but we better be ready in case something happens.
I'm telling you, if the Cherokee Devil's what we're after, he knew we was here before we even got here.
Hell yes, he did.
We better be on our A game in here, that's for sure. Boy, these woods bring back memories, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Trouble is, none of them's good.
Right there it is. Right there. Whoa, right there. Right there it is. That's it. Right there it is. Go get it. Whoa, Bill. Whoa, Bill. There's a drop off right there, dude. Oh, shit. Stop. Where'd he go? Let's stay down. We'll break our necks. That's a 10, 50 foot drop off.
Hell yes.
Where'd that thing go to?
There's no way.
It's right there.
There's no way it disappeared like that.
No, there's open woods there.
What is that? It did. It disappeared.
But we learned a long time ago about this country down in here. You never know what you're going to run into.
Boys, I ain't liking this at all.
I didn't like coming back here. We just seen that cloaked figure that Bill said he'd seen earlier. By God, we seen it with our own eyes, but it would just vanish just like that.
We just saw that cloaked figure, me, Huck, and Buck. My eyes wasn't playing tricks on me. I go down range, take after him. Buck had stopped me. I about went on my head about 15, 20 foot drop off. He disappeared. Where did he go?
We just seen that cloaked figure that Bill seen earlier. Turns out his eyes wasn't playing tricks on him. There's something out here. Keep an eye about. Keep an eyeballs out, boys. Man, I don't know what to hold something man not expected. This was not the hunt we expected.
Hell no.
Let me start out real quick with saying, so when Mountain Monsters ended, obviously when we was filming that, there was a production team that come in from Hollywood and all this stuff, whatever, right? So we're completely doing everything on our own now. Us three and Creepy People Management, which Creepy People Management is Lee Kirkland, Jeff Waldridge, and Jennifer Kirkland. So Big West, it's just, things are a lot different now. This is a learning experience for all of us. So we're trying to get in a rhythm of how quickly we can push out episodes. There's been a lot of things filmed. Being on YouTube is a lot different than being on a network. So keep in mind that, you know, just, we're trying to condense things down because, I mean, you guys aren't going to enjoy watching my fat rear end walk up a hill out of breath and not talk. There's editing. I've never edited anything. You know?
I've watched it for years.
I know. But what I'm getting at is this is a learning experience. But there's a lot to this that we're learning as we go. What people don't understand is we was already going to start filming for YouTube right before this happened. And we had a very, very active Bigfoot hunt set up, ready to go. We'd already been in the woods a couple different times. We was just waiting on a few final legal issues as far as the separation between Mountain Monsters and Sons of Appalachia. And we was just waiting on the final things. We was already ready to go. And the day before, we're about ready to, the guys are ready to come in so they can start filming us. Everything changed because we got sent right back to Tiger Valley. So, and then it ended up leading us to North Carolina, and I'm not going to tell you where else it leads us because you'll see more of that tonight at 8 o'clock. Because episode 2 drops tonight at 8. And then hopefully it'll be another, again, we're learning as we go as far as getting this aired. So, but we are now separated from Mountain Monsters. We're the Sons of Appalachia. We're on YouTube only. We will not go back to filming for a network.
Absolutely not.
That's probably not going to be in the question. But other than that, I'm going to shut up. Y'all don't want to sit and listen to me talk. You'd like to have answers to some of your questions. So, you guys have questions, we'll answer the best we can. And then let's just go ahead and get started.
Okay, so this actually relates to the quest for Spearfinger. So in Mountain Monsters, sorry for bringing that up.
No, it's fine. I mean, that's how you know us, you know what I mean?
When we watched the episode where you guys were in that old barn with that projector showing the masked figure, did you ever notice how odd it was, how he specifically said which creature you needed to look for instead of going like clockwise or counterclockwise? He just said like the wild woman, the silver giant, the death cat, etc. Do you ever thought that was a little strange?
So it was, we never really put a lot of thought as far as into the rotation that we was going in and checking those creatures. To be honest with you, where we're at, we was done with all of that. And we was going straight back to what we've known for, you know, way before television was Bigfoot hunts. So, of course, you've seen Mountain Monsters and Spearfinger and everything, so getting into this is what we was expecting to do. So this is just kind of something that it popped up and we're rolling with it. And you guys will see a lot more interesting things in the very near future. Yes. That'll be rolling out tonight. In a couple weeks, you'll see some more. It's actually just, last week we had to take a break. We had to step back. We had to take a break from where we was at. I'm not gonna tell you just yet. We had to take a step back and go do something else. But it ended up, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers. But no, I never really considered the rotation of, or the name in which they went. We just went.
This is kind of add on to my wife's question. It was about the guy with the mask. Did y'all ever figure out who that was?
Not yet. But I have a feeling we're going to get to the bottom of that in the near future. Anybody, if you have a question, raise your hand. If you guys don't raise your hands, it's going to be really short-lived.
You got something you want to ask?
So what do you think the main difference is between where you're kind of researching and looking versus where the expedition Bigfoot is in like the other side of the country?
I mean, there's a lot of differences, but you know, they spend a lot of time out west where we spend all of our time in the Appalachian Mountains. You know, I genuinely think that when it comes to like specifically Bigfoot, I think behavior, as far as from the East Coast to West Coast, all will be similar to a degree.
Yes.
But I think each Bigfoot basically has its own personality, if that makes sense. But as far as the difference between us and Expedition Bigfoot, I mean, they are a lot better looking than us. And they're a lot more fun and we're a lot louder.
Well, some of us is a lot louder. On the show Mountain Monsters, sorry for y'all's loss of Trapper.
Thank you.
And do y'all still associate with Jeff and Willie?
I haven't talked to them in a little while. They're, again, and I've told everybody the same thing. They've got their own thing going, and wish them nothing but best of luck. Haven't talked to either one of them in a while, but yeah, they're doing their thing and we're doing ours.
We're getting her done.
Yeah, look, so without spoiling anything, I know there was like one part of episode 1 where you went to like a lake, and I'm sorry to bring this up because I know it's kind of probably emotional for y'all talking about Trapper, but like when you went to that lake and started thinking, why that particular spot?
That's, let me say. I used to go there and think about my grandpa. So that's where I go to think about Trapper.
Thanks for sharing that.
Trappers are still our team leader, brother. Always will be.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring that up.
Oh, you're fine, brother.
You're fine.
Are y'all gonna do traps and interviews?
I don't know that we'll do traps necessarily. I'm not going to completely rule that out. I mean, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants right at the moment, to be honest with you. That's what we do best. But we're still talking to local people and trying to get the best research that we can, credible, leads and things like that. Again, it's a learning experience for us with it being YouTube. So I don't know, I'm sure at some point we will learn how we're going to put that into the actual, actually filming it. But it's still a learning experience. But as far as the traps, that's just going to be situational.
Traps are a lot of work and they're very time consuming. Trust me, I know.
As far as your vision for the YouTube channel, do you guys feel like you want to move into something like newer investigations, or where you kind of draw off maybe loose ends that didn't get tied up investigation-wise from the TV series, or would you like to kind of get into something a little more original for the sake of the YouTube channel?
So that's a great question. Our original plan was not what is being done now. Our original plan was we was going back on Bigfoot. We was hunting Bigfoot and that was it. But when things pop up and things you feel like you're being led a certain way, just roll with it and see what happens. Eventually, I feel confident with what we're dealing with right now. We'll get to the bottom of it. And then as far as down the road,
that's the ultimate goal, is to be going back to, going after Bigfoot.
Have a second question. It actually relates to the locations of each of those monsters, like the Wild Woman with the blue house, the Cherokee Devil with the red barn, and the old barn with the death cat. Do you ever thought maybe doing a geographical mapping of it to see like if there's some kind of patterns between them, or if they're connected to any ley lines?
So before we go in any area, we do geographical layout, because with the hills that we know, if you get turned around, you go climb the tallest hill and you look and you'll know where you're at, most of the time, with us, because we know a lot of these woods. Actually, the woods that we are in now is familiar territory to us. So, but yes, we look at all that stuff before we go in. We always have, always will. That way we have an idea of the lay of the land. But as far as a connection between them, we've not found one, as far as like geographically.
I've actually got a question for Huck. Okay, so without spoiling anything, I remember in episode 1 you were talking a book about Cherokee mythology and stuff like that. I'm actually kind of interested in mythology and stuff like that. Would you guys ever consider maybe making video lores about Cherokee myths and legends?
First off, I'm not Cherokee. I am Shawnee. Shawnee and Cherokee do not get along.
This is why we always fight.
But yeah, we'll do some of that on both tribes. I buried the hatch a long time ago. I just missed.
Buried it right in my shin.
But we'll get into that. There's a lot of interesting stuff out there with the Native Americans about Bigfoot and stuff.
First of all, thank you guys for the memories you've created between, for all of us here, and especially between us, our nephews and grandchildren now. We've conducted our own night investigations with them, if you will, and they're all into it with whiteboards and everything else, But we've created our own local legend. Unlike you guys, totally fictitious. We have the Campbell County crawler who goes on all fours and stands up in excess of 7 feet when angered, and now the young grandkids want to go after him. What advice would you have for guys 6, 7, 8 years old that are big fans of your alls that want to get into this?
Encourage them.
That's a good question there. I've got a grandson that's coming up. He's 14 now, but help him, get him started. I push him. You can ask these guys. Sometimes he'll come out and hang out with us. He's always asking them questions. He pays attention. He's learning. It's something that it gets the kids outside. They're not on their phones or their games anymore, okay? When we was kids, we usually got put outside and the door locked and you had to spend the day out there, okay? So, yeah, it gets them outside. It gives them something to do. It gives them something to look forward to, and it's good to do it with your kids, how many things can you do that you can go out and not cost you an arm and a leg and do with your grandkids or your kids, Anymore, it's all about money. You can go out here in the woods and walk all day and wear out a pair of shoes or two every now and then, a year or two, and have a great time.
Teach them their trees. That's important.
Yeah.
Plant life. Yeah, that's food source and things like that. And then that's important when it comes to whether you're a hunter or you're doing what we do. It's important knowledge to have, what time of year the white oaks start dropping, the red oak, the black oak, the apples coming and start to drop.
that's all important information that is very useful for anybody that spends time in the woods.
Yeah.
How to read the signs on the weather and stuff, but you know, if you figure out there's a storm coming, you got enough sense to at least try to find you a place to hide out of it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, come on now, I'm gonna have to start asking people questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're from Ohio, and I know on one or a couple of shows maybe you were in Ohio around the Hocking Hills. Do you think you'll ever go back?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, if you would be perfectly honest with you, yes. That's, before we started, filming for YouTube, me and Huck actually went up there not too awful long ago, checking some stuff out, but yeah, we will be back over.
Assuming that you are going to catch or kill Bigfoot, what is your protocol after that event happens?
We're not going to kill Bigfoot, that's not the question. As far as catching one, right now, again, just like she had asked about building traps and things like that, we haven't even decided that that's the route we're going to go. We're kind of doing things a little bit different now, as far as if we're able to get solid evidence. There's a lot more, things have changed a lot since we first started doing this, you know what I mean? I'd like to get, at one point years ago, we found some amazing hares that was 7 foot up in the tree that we know where they come from. We had a great track, 2 great tracks underneath of it. But as far as killing or catching one, we definitely won't kill one. But as far as catching one, if we was to ever build a trap and catch one, it would only be contained long enough to get the evidence we need, and that's getting cut loose. If you've ever seen a wild animal on a trap, it is. It's rough to watch. You either if you're a trapper, you dispatch them immediately, or if you're letting stuff go, you let it out immediately, because they'll kill themselves trying to get out. But other than that, no, we're just doing things a little different now.
But you dropped one of your plates.
I know, I'm trying not to.
You're fine, buddy.
Okay, this is actually a different question. It actually relates to the blood skull that you found, Buck. Did you know that there's a thing called the crystal skulls, and that there's a theory that there's some kind of power hidden within them? Do you think that maybe the reason why those guys were after the blood skull, because maybe there's some kind of power source behind it?
No, I think that their sole purpose was to mess with us.
Yeah, exactly what it was. Mess with us.
The crystal skull is part of a Inca or Aztec religious thing. And that's where they supposedly come from. They've found 7, I believe, all on podium, and they've been in South America. And they have no idea how they were made, because they're made out of solid crystal, they're smooth as glass. So, yeah, they didn't have tools back then, they had hand tools. So to take and do that took some work and effort.
Do you guys have a favorite moment from any of the hunts that you've been on?
I'm sure all 3 of us have our own favorite moments from over the years of the hunt. Just, because it's on the top of my head thinking about Trapper, one of my favorite moments ever was playing. I love to play pranks on that man. That's something you guys would not believe the amount of pranks that I played on that man that was never filmed. And if it was filmed, they wouldn't air it. I had a lot of fun messing with him. We was out, it was the absolute dead of winter, it was very cold. We parked all the way to the bottom of the holler, and at the end of the evening, it was late at night, probably early in the morning, Trapper asked me to go start his truck up and warm it up for him. So I went and I started his truck up. Well, let's see what happens if we crank the AC in -2 degree weather. But it was stuff like that I used to do all the time too. We'd be going down the road, it'd be 100 degrees outside, and I'd reach over when he wasn't paying attention and turn the heat on the seat. I had a lot of fun messing with that man. Really did. It was interesting.
Did he really pull the wrong tooth?
Yes.
That was real? Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He come to me and he said, if I can't get her out, can you help me? I said, sure will, bud. Yeah, when I tried to tell him, Trapper, you got the wrong one.
He wasn't having it.
Yeah, he had an alcohol attitude, I guess.
Alcohol poured moonshine. Yeah. He was working on number 2, yeah.
I got a question. Whatever happened to the giant pig that you caught on Hogzilla? Whatever happened to that pig?
Pork chop, brother. No, we contacted the DNR to come and after that we left. So what they did at that point, that's up to them. I don't know. We left.
So what made you want to participate in this event, and have you participated in a lot of them, or?
Are you talking about this event?
Yeah, like the one going on now, or like what's kind of your history with going?
Look, our fans, we're awesome. So we have done several events, down in Kentucky, Tennessee, just up and down these different areas. We've been on several different places, but we love doing them. We have a lot of fun. We love to meet our fans. We love to interact. We love to listen and hear your guys' stories and your thoughts. And as far as this one specifically, Maria Mayer, she's absolutely wonderful. Yeah. She asked us if we'd come down, and we said absolutely. So yeah, that's kind of how we got in on this one. But yeah, we do a few.
There's one thing that we always keep in mind, and that's who put us where we are today.
Yeah.
And it was you people. The fans put us here. We didn't do it on our own. If it wouldn't have been for you people, we'd have just been hillbilly stone walnuts in the river somewhere.
We still are.
We don't throw walnuts in the river all the time.
Right.
So coming here this weekend, I saw this event was through Maria. I think I saw Russ posted it. And so that's how I heard about this. Now I've watched you guys, I haven't watched in the last couple of years, but I walk in, I know who you all are. I can tell my dad about you guys. But us as fans, how can we stay connected to you all? Because we've already gone in, we've gone to YouTube, we've subscribed. I want to see every time you guys come in here and put something. But where are you guys? Are we going to see you on Facebook? How do we stay connected and help you guys succeed?
So did you see the cards that was on our table?
I got one.
Okay, so there's links on the back that will take you to our Facebook, take you to our TikTok, to our YouTube, and we will be up to date. Any events we do will be posted on our Facebook page, where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. So that's basically our main source of getting the knowledge out there. At some point we may do, but if on YouTube where we're going to be, I don't know. We haven't really discussed it that much, but yeah, you'll be able to see it on our Facebook page always.
So over the years, I've seen a lot of you guys falling down. What is the most memorable, I would say injury or falling situation that y'all been in?
Okay, do you remember watching the episode about the Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell all the way down that hill twice, and I busted the crotch out of my blue jeans all the way down to my Yeah. Not only was it very painful, but it was my blue jeans, my britches were shot. Thankfully, I had a little girl underneath there. I don't think they could have put that on TV. good to know. And one time, Wild Bill and Willie, and me, they took off running, and I'm right behind them, and I just see Willie disappear, then I see Bill disappear, and the next thing I know, I'm laying on top of both of them.
Yes, sir.
I was like, how did this happen? It was wonderful. I was glad to be on top. It was a soft landing for me.
I got up there, they was all laying in there in a big ball.
So, not sure who won that match.
Okay, I'll try to make this quick. I actually have two questions. For Wild Bill.
Yes, sir.
No disrespect, I love you, dude, but why are you always running late for your missions and stuff?
Running late. I'm a busy man.
Oh, okay, last question. This is a Mountain Monsters question. The guy who was like the lead producer, or the guy that was with y'all half the time, do y'all still talk to him? Because I felt like y'all were like good friends on that.
Yeah, Cole. I talked to Cole 2 or 3 weeks ago. Talked to him about it. We still keep in touch here and there. It's, he lives all the way on the other side of the country. The only time I see my friends that live on the other side of the country, and I consider, Russ and these guys, they're friends of mine. The only time I get to see them is whenever we're at the same events. But no, I've heard from him there just a few weeks back. We stay in touch over Whip Stitch.
Do y'all ever have dangerous wildlife encounters that are not Bigfoot?
Did you say bankers?
Do y'all ever have dangerous?
Okay, I'm sorry, I was completely confused for a second, I ain't gonna lie. Dangerous encounters that are outside of it, yes, we have. And if you watch the new episode tonight, you'll see what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of dangers out there that go overlooked, such as, especially this time of year, snakes are starting to shed their skins. In West Virginia, we got rattlesnakes, we got copperheads. You get close to one that's shedding its skin, it's not even gonna think, it's just gonna bite. It's just earlier this week, we was out on a ridge and had a bear come in chomping at us because we was in its territory. I scared the daylights out of it. Didn't get it on film. Me and Jeff was sitting there trying to figure the camera out. It come right in on us. But yeah, there's a lot of dangers out there that tend to scare the crap out of you.
Okay.
Well, I actually have an idea for a food review, if you guys are interested.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the one chip challenge?
I'll never do it again. Never again. I thought I was going to the hospital that day. No, there's some of that stuff that's just wow. I don't think I can do it again.
All right, this is a question for all three of y'all. What is y'all's favorite alcoholic beverage?
Wild Bill's been sober, what, 30 years?
30 years, brother, I don't have one.
Go.
I don't got sense enough to have an alcoholic beverage. He's a Mr. T, that broke nose, meant for a drunken Marine. But a sober Marine for 18th this month, make me 30 years been sober.
Yeah. I'll have a beer once in a while. I think he quit drinking.
Yeah, I don't drink nothing like I did. Once in a while, I'll have a sip or two.
That's about it.
What kind of challenges or conflicts did you guys face while filming with like a big TV production studio on Mountain Monsters?
Too many people. Way too many people.
Yeah.
Whenever we had a production crew, there was way too many people involved, and they would try to get us to do things that we wasn't comfortable with. Because they're trying to make a good TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're trying to do what we do.
Right.
And then they've tried to push us in one direction. Like, no, dude, that's not how we roll. You know what I mean? But the biggest hindrance was definitely the amount of people.
Yeah.
We tried to keep it as minimal as possible, but even as minimal as possible, it was a pain, honestly.
Trapper fought it for a long time. He didn't even want to do it because of too many people. You know, you get so many people out there, you're just a herd of cattle going through.
Especially whenever it's a bunch of guys who've never spent a day in the woods in their life. You know what I mean?
But we got lucky, like our cameramen, they were both outdoorsmen. And they were, and the one sound man that stayed with us for years. So we got pretty lucky there, but yeah, we've been there at times, it was just a mess.
And what's fortunate for us now is you know, it's a very small group, and with Jeff and Lee, they're both outdoorsmen as well. So I mean, those guys, they're our family.
They are awesome filming.
They're very involved in the outdoors as well. So it's brought a lot smoother.
So, do y'all want to mostly focus on the Sasquatches? Is that what I'm understanding? Is your
Eventually, yes, eventually. Right now, anytime you get something that grabs your attention and kind of leads you in a certain direction, you tend to dig a little deeper and see what's taking place with it, and that's kind of what's happened with us now. But eventually, yeah, I'd like to cycle back and definitely go after Bigfoot. We was just in an area here recently that unfortunately it was active not too awful long ago, but the activity definitely died down. So.
I know that you mentioned on some of the earlier shows that Huck, that you kind of brought Buck onto the team, and that you had known each other for a really long time since Buck was young. If the show never existed or didn't happen for you guys, do you feel like you would still be as good of friends, or would you call each other up and ask and say, hey, you want to go hunt Bigfoot this weekend? Is that still something that you would do regardless of cameras or YouTube or anything like that?
Oh yeah,
we come from a real small community. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, my graduating class was, I think, 82 people, and there was 300 in the total high school, middle school, and elementary school. I had one of our bigger graduating classes. We're from a very small community. It's a big county, small community. No, we see each other. We haven't been on TV in quite some time, and yeah, we still get together and hang out. You know, we do our thing, and we'll sit and we'll yell at each other and beat each other up once in a while, and we'll go do fun stuff. We'll go to the woods and we'll go fishing. Yeah.
My dad's family has been in this county since the early 1700s, if that tells you how long we've been there.
Here's an example for you. When I was younger, before we was ever on TV or anything, me and his son almost went to jail together one night.
I'm so proud.
He was so proud. He was a proud moment. It was funny. No. We ain't going to discuss what we did to almost go to jail.
What'd you do? I'm just kidding. What began your interest in this sort of thing, like hunting Bigfoot and cryptos and other sort of things like that?
An experience at a young age. I had my first encounter when I was about 8 years old. I was turkey hunting with my father, and we was down the bottom of this big steep holler. I mean, it's rock cliffs on both sides, and could hear something down in the creek. It sounded like two rocks just cracking together. Listened to it for almost an hour. When the bird we was after, it stopped gobbling, shut up. He got it with a hymn, and Dad came up to me. He said, "Well," he said, "we'll get out of here." And I said, "Dad, do you hear that?" And he said, "Yeah." He says, "Probably a bear." And at a young age, I realized a bear don't have thumbs. You know what I mean? Like, I was not convinced that was a bear at all. So I ended up going down to the creek, and that's where I found my first track. But that was 32 years ago.
I'll be 40 this month. I'm getting old, guys. Can't go like I used to. But anyway, but it was an encounter, and that's what got all of us into this, was we each had an encounter.
Have you ever started off after one cryptid and accidentally run into something different?
That's a great question, and actually we sat and discussed, told a story, I think it was a couple of nights ago. One night we was actually hunting a Bigfoot, and as we was going through the woods, of course I've always been the one out in front. About 20, 30 yards in front of me, I had turned my headlamp up to my left, and I seen there's a large black cat. Its head was bigger than a basketball, and two yellow eyes that was 4 inches apart. It was, I mean, as soon as I seen it, I stopped everybody behind me. Well, the first reaction the cameraman does is he wants to come running up, and I reached over and I almost smacked him. I hit him in the chest, and I said, stay back. Because when we're out there, I mean, these guys, we got to keep them safe, you know what I mean? I grabbed him and said, stay back. And then Cole at that time, he was like, what's going on? I said, shut up, stay back. And I reached back and I said, get Huck up here. Huck come up and he got to see it too. We just sat there and we watched it just for a minute. You could see its tail just going like this up in the air, it's curled. It's a big black cat. And then the inexperienced folk got a little too excited and it was gone.
Did you all keep Trapper's journal, and are you still using it?
We keep it safe. We've been through it several times. There's still lots of information in it. And at some point, we may get it back out. We haven't really sat and discussed that. I mean, you know, we had a fan base for mountain monsters. We know that. But at the same token, this is kind of a fresh start for us. So things are a little bit different now. I'm not saying that we're not going to use it, but I'm not going to sit and say, yeah, we're definitely going to use it. It's just not something that we've made a decision on yet.
If you had to rate like every single, the top 3 most dangerous cryptids, what would you rate them as?
Top 3 most dangerous cryptids.
Cherokee Devil on top.
Yeah. Spearfinger. Mothman.
Yeah.
So this is actually a Bigfoot question this time. Have you ever guys found who killed the Stonist giant?
Not yet. Not yet. Not saying that won't happen, but as of this point, it happened.
We ain't forgot about it, that's for sure.
Right.
Because he deserves justice.
Yes.
Yes.
Have y'all ever thought about looking at a dog man and all that supposedly going on around here in this area?
Yes, we have. We've discussed that several times actually, and that's not going to be overlooked. Like that's something we're seriously looking into.
Hey guys, so as someone who is like into supernatural, this is actually a question that involves skinwalkers. In y'all's professional opinion, do y'all believe that skinwalkers can actually shapeshift?
Yes.
They do exist,
yes. Absolutely.
Seen that firsthand.
I've got an Apache buddy that I hooked up with when we was in Gatlinburg here, Bill, quite a few years ago. And he helped me with a lot of their medicine men and stuff. He'll go to them and talk to them, and he'll relay me stuff. Yeah, it's the real deal, trust me.
Anybody else? All right. Well, guys, listen. I'm not going to sit here awkwardly silent. I would like to say a big thank you to all of you guys for having us.
a big thank you to Maria. She's absolutely wonderful. Russ is pretty cool too, I guess. No, listen, they are great guys, and we love them, and we love the opportunity we had to get to come down here. This has just been a wonderful experience, and really hoping to see this event grow, and anything we can do to assist with that, we'll work it out like that. So,
Thank you all for coming
All right,
out.
thank you. Give it up for the Sons of Appalachia. I'm Cuban, man. Thank you so much, you guys. And thank you. We are going to wrap this up. However, if you have not gotten their pictures and autographs and all of that, please go see them on the way out. After this, we are going to head over to the vendors hall, which is just 2 doors down. Follow the little chalk arrows, and we're just going to hang out and spend some time. Really, thank you for coming today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it and had a good time and learned some stuff. And we really, really hope that you look out for the announcement, because I'm very thrilled to say that we will be back next year.
Walking through the forest, dreams of creatures wild. Ryan's got his guitar, strumming all the while. Mountains in the distance whisper off the night. Tales of old adventures, hunting monsters bright.